Katya Danilova, and I'm the YCA Panel Chair for the Hong Kong region of CANZ. I currently work for AIA. I work in the regional office, which some of you might know. It's a Asia Pacific insurance company, and particularly I work in operations strategy. I came to Hong Kong about 3.5 years ago. Previously to that, I was with AIA in New Zealand, which is where I grew up and studied. And I qualified through EY to get my CA. I've been on the Overseas Regional Council for all the members who are based in Hong Kong for the last 2 years. I have really enjoyed being part of looking after the membership group here. But in particular, I think we still have a very enthusiastic young members group, despite being predominantly what most people consider expats living overseas. We do have a lot of people in their early 30s or maybe late 20s. And I do think that's a really important time in your career, and I wanted to be able to find a way to connect with those members in particularly and try to give back. I would probably say the enthusiasm. I think in Hong Kong, most of our members are really excited usually to meet up with other fellow chartered accountants. We definitely don't go by the boring bean counter stereotypes that we all know about. But I think being an overseas membership group, it's a slightly different dynamic. And definitely people seek out the CA members here, and they want to connect and they want to keep up that professional network. So that's what I really enjoy most about my role, both on the regional council, particularly with the Young CAs. There's a lot of energy and a lot of positivity and a lot of enthusiasm here to really support the members and really create a sense of community. Definitely the time I spend supporting it. Obviously, we're all volunteers. We do really enjoy it, and I think that, you know, for me, it's definitely worth it. It's a big part of being connected to the professional network and the community here. I wish they also knew a little bit more about the variety of things we get involved in, not just the stereotypes, like I said. I tend to not work with finance people in my current role, more in operations and strategy. So they do tease me a bit about being an accountant, but I wish they understood how much more on the digital and all various forms that we look after. I was actually born in Russia and I moved to New Zealand when I was about 7. The way I moved to New Zealand is actually my dad had been sailing. He was part of Round the World Regatta, and they stopped in New Zealand and decided to kind of end the travels there. And that's when he managed to get my mum and I to fly out to meet him. So we actually lived together in the marina for the first few months while we settled in, and eventually we moved into a flat in Auckland, and from there we've always stayed in New Zealand, and that's where I grew up. I just want to say that I've been really lucky to be part of the CA group, particularly as I moved overseas. It's become a really big part of my Hong Kong network and community, and I've made a lot of friends here. So to anyone who's thinking about doing their CA or wondering what value it adds, I think sometimes you never know where life will turn and where you'll end up. Probably when I was doing my exams, I didn't imagine that I would be in Hong Kong. And then when I was working at EY, I maybe didn't imagine that I would be in Hong Kong and part of the Overseas Regional Council and being so passionate about helping local members. So I would say, you know, it's a great asset, and I really encourage everyone to keep connected and to make the most of their CA membership.